Has it felt like we've been getting the exact same games released year after year, month after month, console generation after console generation? You're not alone because that's literally what's been happening. We've been seeing a lot of the same franchises being released generation after generation, hell, even like year after year from the same devs. They haven't really been giving us a whole lot of variety from them lately. And I don't know if anyone else has noticed this. I've certainly noticed this, and I think this guy's noticed this as well. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to talk about the rise of single franchise devs and what that means for the gaming world as a whole. Also, just a heads up, if you are not subscribed or do not follow the Sidetracked by SideQuest podcast, go check it out over at Spotify for exclusive video podcasts. We're talking about something very similar to this next week. So go check it out. Uploads every Monday. Anyways, I feel like back in like the early 2000s, we used to see a ton of variety of games. There used to be a lot more third-party games, but right now I just want to focus on like the big devs that we have come to know and love that have really just thrown a lot of their other franchises out the window, haven't been touching them at all, and just focusing on these long-running franchises. One of the big ones I'm talking about that they've been, just releasing the same game for years now. They've been doing, a bunch of remasters and re-releases and all that shit. It's Naughty Dog. They got their start way early on with Rings of Power and shit like that. But then you also got, they rose to fame with the Uncharted series that changed the gaming sphere forever. And that was an amazing game. Before even that, though, they had the Jak and Daxter series. And then, of course, they also had the Crash Bandicoot series. They had Crash Team Racing. They had all that. And now, it seems the only thing that we've gotten from Naughty Dog in the last fucking 20 years is Last of Us. Like, what happened? So, even with Insomniac, right? Since 2018, we've just been getting Spider-Man games from them. Now we are getting a Wolverine game because they're becoming like the Marvel home. But still, to be fair, they did also release a new Ratchet and Clank game back in 2020, 2021, something like that, which was an amazing ass game. But that was the first Ratchet and Clank game we've seen since 2015 or something like that. I forget when the remake of it or whatever, not remake, but the first game in years came out.
I did not keep up with that at all.
I didn't either, but then you go way back in time. You had the Spyro games, you had Outer Knots, you had the Resistance games, Sunset Overdrive. They used to be making all these different kinds of games, but now they're just making Spider-Man and now Wolverine. But
I have to say, Resistance is one of my favorite FPSs of all time, and it actually got me in. It was one of the games that got me into FPS. One of the early games, random tangent, Crysis was probably the first FPS I played, that I really, really enjoyed.
Oh, Crysis is great.
And then after that, I got into Resistance 1, and then I got the whole series, and I was just like,
The Resistance games were classics. They're one of my first FPS games as well.
You would never have thought that it came from...
I know, Insomniac. I mean, to be fair, I don't think anyone thought that Insomniac making a Spider-Man game was actually going to go anywhere because it was totally out of their wheelhouse, So it's like, oh, okay.
They said that a lot, that Sunset Overdrive inspired them to do that. Sunset Overdrive... Oh, yeah,
and I get that. Sunset Overdrive is such a good game.
Despite the unpopularity, Sunset Overdrive was a major hit.
I love that game.
It was a major hit. It was one of the first games that really, really made me want to get an Xbox. Now that I have a PC, I actually bought it and I was able to play it, and I was like, this is fun as hell. I love this game. The color scheme, the story, and the story's not even really there. It's just bullshit. But it gives you a
crazy chaos.
It up. Yeah.
The last example I have is also Treyarch, who they've been making games since the freaking 1990s, late 1990s. But you had games the Max Steel game, They had Die by the Sword. They had a freaking NHL game. They had a Spider-Man game. They made Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2, Ultimate Spider-Man, and then Spider-Man 3, and Web of Shadows.
Bro, Web of Shadows is my favorite fucking Spider-Man game. You can't tell me different. Fuck Insomniac.
They even made They even made a 007 game, all right?
But then,
ever since freaking 2008, the only thing that they've ever made is Call of Duty. And it's like, that's what they pour all their money into. And there might be a bunch of things to go into it, but you can't say that either a time issue or it's a money issue, because then you look at game like devs like Ubisoft, which you would think, because their biggest releases have just been Assassin's Creed and Far Cry, that's the only thing they're making. But no, they also made Skull and Bones, which is we're not going to talk about Skull and Bones, but they also made the Prince of Persia game that came out this year, which was actually very good. They made all the Tom Clancy Ghost Recon games, which were actually good.
Can we not talk about Ubisoft because...
Well, no, I'm using them as an example of a big game dev that is still being diversified in their franchises. They're not just Assassin's Creed and Far Cry. They're still keeping up and making a bunch of different games. Besides, they're probably... I can't even say the two biggest sellers. They're just making a bunch of different styles of games still.
All right, now that I'm back in the game, sorry guys. No, I can't even support that Ubisoft statement, because at the end of the day, they've been milking Assassin's Creed, and they're trying to come out with 6 Assassin's Creed games in the next 2 years.
It's kind of ridiculous.
Are you serious?
It's kind of ridiculous.
Are you serious?
But at the same time as that,
meanwhile, they said Skull and Bones is a triple A. That's a
triple A game. Yeah,
a triple A game, and they've had to delay it 5 fucking literally it's 5 fucking times because they can't get their shit together. And when they showed off what they showed off, it was very mid.
Oh yeah,
you know. And
now
so,
the difference is Ubisoft though. They do have multiple headquarters. They have multiple different developing families, I guess. Because they have Ubisoft Montreal, Ubisoft. They have different types of Ubisoft. So they actually have the money to diversify. Hell, they're also making Star Wars Outlaws, which I'm actually very much looking forward to this year.
I am looking forward to that actually.
Whereas, so here's my question though, right? Ubisoft, Square Enix, they're making a ton of different kinds of games all the friggin' time. Even though they just came out with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. But they also make a metric shit ton of different styles of games, different franchises. So, do you think that this rise of single franchise devs, do you think it's a size issue? Do you think it's a money issue? What do you think? Because, with Naughty Dog, Insomniac, and Treyarch, ultimately they're smaller than Ubisoft and Square Enix.
I think it's a publisher issue. I think publishers aren't gamers and they don't really understand the scheme. They just understand the investment. Once gaming started making billions of dollars, investors are just like, all right, cool, yes, let's do this. And they treat the same business, but it's not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You have to understand, gamers can be as fickle as the wind, but they can also be somebody that can be a hardcore fan, depending on what you give them. So, I think at the end of the day, these companies, it's not even just about, what the size is or what you think they are capable of. It's more or less about what can they produce to entice people.
And that's fair.
If publishers don't give developers the space, the time, and the creativity to give the audience what they want, they're ultimately going to fail. Yeah. And that is what is failing, is because you have these publishers creating these budgets and creating these terms of service almost, where it's like, all right, you gotta make this much amount of money in this year just for the fact because I'm investing in this. This isn't a fucking car. This isn't a couch. This isn't like this is an interactive personal experience. And if you're not there on the ground level, you won't. If you're not there on the ground level, giving or understanding that intimate personal experience, you won't know how to sell it. If that makes sense.
No, that makes sense a lot. And yeah, I do think that definitely factors into it a lot. I think also, like what you said with the publishers, once they find like a franchise that just explodes from these companies, they feel like they struck gold and they're like, okay, we're going to capitalize on this one franchise and you're just going to put all your effort into that. And then, you know, it all, even if it ends up being like not as good as it used to be, they're still like, well, it could still get there again. So just keep cranking them out. Just keep doing it. I mean, we see that with Call of Duty lately. Like, you know, Call of Duty hasn't been good for years now, but they still keep churning them out.
It's like, I don't want to bring up this company, but Red Dead Redemption. We've seen 2K? The article. No, yeah, 2K. We've seen the articles. They're going to keep pumping out Red Dead Redemptions until the wheels fall off. They literally said that in an interview. And it's just like, dude, just like, I don't need a Red Dead Redemption 3 right now. Red Dead Redemption 2 was so fucking big.
It was.
And it was so monumental onto the story of Red Dead Redemption 1, which everybody loved. Like
it was an amazing game. Not 2K, Rockstar. My bad. Why the hell did I say 2K? But yeah,
I'm gonna let myself be stupid because I had a hard day at work.
I don't know why I was thinking 2K. I apologize.
You should also let yourself be stupid a little bit.
But even with them though, even with Rockstar though, like they make not just Red Dead, but they also make GTA. So right now they're putting all their effort in. Like they re-released. They did the same thing as Bethesda, where they re-released the same game for like 10 freaking years. It was Skyrim. And Rockstar did that shit with GTA 5. It's like, oh my god, I don't care anymore. Now we're finally getting a GTA 6, like 20 years later. But like Red Dead Redemption is the same thing, where like, you know, they didn't come out with a new Red Dead game for generations. So, and like it's fine for them to make a Red Dead Redemption 3, you know, because they're still like, they're not just putting all their focus onto Red Dead Redemption. You know, they're splitting up. Yeah. They're like, you know, okay, so we made Red Dead Redemption. Now we're going to make GTA 6. We're going to focus on that for a while. And then we're going to switch gears again and make Red Dead Redemption 3 or whatever the next thing they do. And then, you know, go back and forth. So I get that. They've always been doing that forever. So, you know, Rockstar is what Rockstar is. But like with devs like Insomniac and Naughty Dog, it's like Sony, I think that's the Sony issue primarily because they've been only focusing on that one franchise. And now I think we're going to get a break from Insomniac because now they're making the Wolverine game. And if that blows up, we're probably going to see, you know, 10 years of Wolverine. But, like, it's just that, you know? Like,
yeah. I mean, we'll just have to see, to be honest, because right now there's a lot of layoffs going on.
There are.
And there's a lot of people that are being affected. Wolverine has been affected. Naughty Dog has been affected. And Insomniac has been. Everybody has been affected. Unity, PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, like everybody's been affected by these layoffs. So we're just gonna have to see what things are gonna look up to in like the later end of 2024 and end of 2025. But I'm going to express an opinion to all of you.
Oh boy. Here comes the spicy opinions you all know and love.
You gotta understand that you, outside of Dragon's Dogma, you can leave this market alone. And go for lesser things and have the same satisfactory. I will play Blasphemous. I will play Blasphemous and Blasphemous 2 and get the $6.
You mean Blasphemous?
No, Blasphemous. You remember
Blasphemous. I'm like, I was like, yeah. are you mispronouncing Blasphemous? What are you talking about? I know what you mean.
Blasphemous.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
I'll play Blasphemous and Blasphemous 2 and get the same experience as Elden Ring. I can play very, very cheaply made but quality games.
If you want more of a deeper dive on what he's talking about right now, go check out our podcast, Sidetracked by Sidequests.
You're gonna want to replace Last of Us with Plague's Tale. Like that's the type of shit that I'm on. Like
that's fair.
The Game of Crash is going to be fine, people. You'll be great. You got plenty of games to play.
Guys, what do you think? How do you think that devs have become single franchise devs over the years? Do you think it's a money issue? Do you think it's a publisher issue? Do you think it's just a time issue? Let us know all your thoughts in the comment section below. We'd love to hear from you. Maybe you thought about something that we didn't think about. But let us know what you're thinking in the comment section below. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. We always appreciate you tuning in and hanging out with us for 20 minutes. So, check us out here every single week on Friday. Check out our podcast, Sidetracked by Sidequests, over on Spotify. That's a random-ass mess of chaos, and it's always fun. So go check it out. Guys, thanks so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. If you haven't done so yet, hit the like button as well. Share the video with your friends and family. And we'll see you in the next diving, guys. Thanks so much. Peace out. Bye. Stay excellent.